Good morning. Good morning. And welcome to worship with the Unitarian Universalist Church of Ventura. I am the Reverend Dana Worsnop, minister of this joyful, anxious, celebratory, generous, kind, engaged community. We gather to keep love at the center of our lives and the way we move in the world. It is so good to see you all here together in all the ways we got here. Online, Zooming, YouTube streaming, on wheels, on foot. Those who have been here for 30 seconds, 10 years, 10 minutes, long lost people returning, Christmas cheering people, all getting here together. We're so glad that you have joined us. We are a community of many beliefs, identities, origins, sexualities, and genders, and all are welcome. We preface our services by acknowledging that this building, our building, rests on the unceded ancestral homelands of the Chumash peoples. So let us pause and remember that we live on ground that is sacred, ground that cries out for justice and for responsible stewardship. And in so remembering, may we find the courage to do our part to restore wholeness to the earth and all her peoples. Just a few quick announcements. The Longest Night Memorial, we did one yesterday at 3:30 in Ventura's Plaza Park. There is another this afternoon at 3:30 in Oxnard's Plaza Park. It was a moving service yesterday, and it is such a delight to be partnering with people in Oxnard and dear clergy friend in Oxnard to bring these services more broadly, widely among us. This Christmas Eve, we will have a single service, family-oriented service with Silent Night by candlelight at the end. It will begin at 5:30. Also on December 29th, Zach will be back with us, and we will be singing the old year out. Singing the year out?
The old year out.
The old year out, okay. And singing the new year in. And then on January 5th, we will have our annual fire communion service. It's good to be together. The bell rings. We are called to come into the present moment, here, now, together, as we enter sacred space.
Associate Sandy Atkins. We invite those who are Zooming or streaming into the service to light a chalice or candle at home, while Reverend Dana lights the chalice of our free faith here in the sanctuary. We begin the service with Joy Chose You by Donna Ashworth. Joy does not arrive with a fanfare on a red carpet strewn with flowers of a perfect life. Joy sneaks in as you pour a cup of coffee, watching the sunlight hit your favorite tree just right. And you usher joy away because you are not ready for her. Your house is not as it should be for such a distinguished guest. But joy cares nothing for your messy home, your bank balance, or your waistline. You see, joy is supposed to slither through the cracks of your imperfect life. That's how joy works. You cannot truly invite her. You can only be ready when she appears and hug her with meaning, because this very moment, joy chose you. Come, let us worship together.
Hi, I'm Zach Spencer. I'm filling in for music director Carolyn Bierke. I invite you all to rise in spirit or in body as you are able as we sing number 55, Dark of Winter. Dark of winter, soft and still, your quiet calm surrounds me. Let my thoughts go where they will, ease my mind profoundly. And then my soul will sing a song, a blessed song of love eternal, gentle darkness, soft and still, bring your quiet to me. Darkness, soothe thy weary eyes, that I may see more clearly. When my heart with sorrow cries, comfort and caress me. And then my soul will hear a voice, a blessed voice of love eternal. Darkness, when my fears arise, let your peace flow through me.
My name is Lily Rappaport, and I'm the Director of Family Ministry. And now is the time that we're going to call all those young or young at heart to come join me up front for the time for the child in each of us. So this time of the year, we think about present giving, right? How many of you have thought about present giving recently? Okay, so maybe this story will have some meaning to you. Today's story is called The Gift of Nothing, written by Patrick McDonald. He's a cartoonist, so the illustrations are quite lovely. It was a special day, and Mooch wanted to give his best friend Earl a gift. But what to get him? He had a bowl, he had a bed, and he had a chewy toy. He had it all. So Mooch thought and thought, what do you get someone who has everything? Have you ever thought that? Okay. So he thought, so what did he think? Nothing. Okay. He would give Earl the gift of nothing. But in this world filled with so many somethings, where could he find nothing? Okay. Mooch often heard Frank say there was nothing on TV. But as far as Mooch could tell, there was always something on TV, blah, 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 always something coming through. Mooch often heard Doozy and her friends say, there was nothing to do. Have you ever thought that? But as far as Mooch could tell, everybody was always doing something. What are they doing there? Millie came home from the store and said, there's nothing to buy. So Mooch went shopping. How many of you like to shop? Yeah, it's like nice stores, a lot of people there. So Mooch looked up and down every aisle, and he found many, many, many somethings. The latest this, the newest that. But as far as he could tell, nothing was not for sale. So Mooch went home, and he sat on his pillow, and he stayed still, just as cats often do. And not looking for it, he found nothing. So he went and he got a box and he put nothing in it. Then Mooch thought, maybe Earl deserves more than this. So he got a bigger box. Now that's plenty of nothing. So he brings it to his friend. For me, said Earl. Mooch, you didn't have to get me anything. Who told him, thought Mooch. Earl opened Mooch's gift. What did he see inside? There's nothing here, said Earl. Yes, said Mooch, nothing but me and you. So Mooch and Earl just stayed still and enjoyed nothing and everything. And that's the end of the story. And now, if we would rise in the center aisle and form a bridge of love so we can sing the children out to their class.
Precious life, we hold you in our love as you go.
I got plenty of nothing. Actually, I don't think we have enough of nothing, but so we will contemplate further. Each Sunday, this congregation gives away our collection to an organization in the larger community or to funds that help people in our own church. Those of you at home have two ways to give. There will be a link posted in the Zoom chat, or you can text the word, can we? Yeah, go back, thank you. You can text the word assist to the number that is on the screen. Here in the sanctuary, you can text to give, and you could also, if you want, give cash or check by putting it in the box at the back of the sanctuary after the service. Our offering today goes to Climate First, Replacing Oil and Gas, or CFROG. This organization works to combat the climate crisis in Ventura County by helping to shape the transition from fossil fuels to a carbon-free economy. They're advocating for a carbon-free economy. Southern California's long history with the oil and gas industry has left more than 4,000 abandoned oil wells in Ventura County alone. There are also more than 2,000 idle wells, all of which pose serious risks to our groundwater, our air quality, agriculture, and wildlife spaces, and all of it is a matter of environmental justice. The wells can leak methane, which is one of the worst greenhouse gases. And many of these abandoned or idle wells are in very near groundwater basins, and so we're all at risk of them polluting our water. Cleaning up these wells will actually bring well-paying jobs to our area and significantly reduce greenhouse gas emissions. And Seafrog is always pushing on the front lines to spur governmental action, holding city councils and county supervisors and offices accountable to Ventura County's climate justice goals. Thank you for giving generously, as you always do. I want to actually take this moment, Zach, to thank you for filling in at the last minute. Our music director, Carolyn Bierke, has been up in Oregon at her father's bedside. He is passing, and Zach has been able to fill in, and it's lovely. That was beautiful. Carolyn will be back to spend Christmas with her family and with us on Christmas Eve. So, thank you. And we are grateful for the generosity of this congregation, which weaves a tapestry of love we call community, all through our community and through the year. Thank you.
Each week we hold up the deep joys and sorrows of members of the congregation and place stones in water for both the celebrations and sorrows in our hearts, making ripples that are felt throughout our community. You can submit a joy or sorrow via a link on the website, uuventura.org, or there's also a link in our Thursday email bulletin, UUCV This Week. Those received by 8 o'clock on Saturday evening will be read Sunday morning. I invite you now to speak into the gathered community or write into the Zoom chat the names of those you wish to celebrate, memorialize, or bring into the loving embrace of this beloved community. Reverend Dana will now place one final stone in the water for all the joys and sorrows just shared and for those yet unspoken in the silent sanctuary of our hearts. May we be truly grateful for all that is our lives.
We invite you all to remain seated as we sing, Though My Soul May Set in Darkness. The choir will sing its way all the way through the song, and then you are invited to sing, join in the second time, or even the third time through as it suits you. We'll wait for that. It will rise in perfect light. I have loved the stars too fondly to be fearful of the night, fearful of the night. Though my soul may set in darkness, it will rise in perfect light. I have loved the stars too fondly to be fearful of the night, fearful of the night. Though my soul may set in darkness, it will rise in perfect light. I have loved the stars too fondly to be fearful of the night, fearful of the night.
Our reading this morning is Solstice poem by Reverend Dr. Rebecca Parker. Perhaps for a moment, the keyboards will stop clicking, the wheels stop rolling, the computers desist from computing, and a hush will fall over the city. For an instant in the stillness, the chiming of celestial spheres will be heard as Earth hangs poised in the crystalline darkness and then gracefully tilts. Let there be a season when holiness is heard and the splendor of living is revealed. Stunned to silence by beauty, we remember who we are and why we are here. Let this be the time we wake to life like spring wakes in the moment of winter solstice.
One second, darling. Zach, we're meditating. He's getting ready. He's going to be ready. I invite you now into a time of meditation. Close your eyes if you wish and place your feet on the floor if you're comfortable doing so. And breathe. Just breathe. Be here, now, in this moment. This moment. A silent meditation. The actual moment of the solstice was 1:21 a.m. yesterday morning. So most of us slept right through it. We also likely slept through much of the longest night of the year, last night, which lasted 15 hours, 9 minutes, and 6 seconds. After 6 months of the days growing shorter and shorter and the nights growing longer, we at last turn back to the light. Today, the sun will shine for 3 seconds longer than yesterday. Monday will be another 6 seconds longer, and Tuesday will add another 12. You see, it accumulates. And you gotta be sure you catch all of those rays. The light returns, oh, so slowly. And it does speed up as the days pass, and at some point we will actually start to notice the cumulative effect. Yet the truth is that practically nothing changes at the solstice. Solstice means essentially sun stands still. And for 3 days, the difference in the height of the sun's path above the horizon is so slight that it is not discernible to the naked eye. And the sun actually appears, to those who are looking closely, even as closely as they look, it appears to be standing still above the horizon for 3 days. It is at a still point. By the 2nd, 5th, and surely the 20th day after solstice, the change of the sun's trajectory has grown high enough that early astronomers could actually take note of it and figure out how to measure it and see that the days were longer. I have always taken great comfort in the solstice, in knowing that the light will return, literally and metaphorically, even as I can't tell right away. For the truth is, we can't hold back the dawn, and it will arrive earlier and earlier for 6 months. But in all of that, the actual moment of the solstice is practically nothing at all. And yet it is everything. Through this month, filled with so many holidays and holy days, we have been carrying the theme of presence in worship. What is present in your life? What is arising and passing away through our days? How are you filled? How do you make room, make space for all that this month tries to cram in? And in all of that, what is present to you, alive, palpable in each moment? What presents, gifts do you receive? Solstice is the presence of nothing, or at least very little. It is also the gift, the present of nothing, which is what Mooch found a way to give to his dear friend Earl. In a world where there is so much and too much to do, to watch on TV, to buy for ourselves and each other, as far as Mooch could tell, nothing was not for sale. And nothing was not for sale. Everything is for sale in our world, it seems, except for nothing. So, oh, what a gift nothing would be. So he wrapped up plenty of it, plenty of nothing, and gave it to his friend Earl. It took Earl a moment to understand. You didn't have to give me anything, he told Mooch. And Mooch didn't. He gave Earl a big box of nothing but you and me and you. How would it be in this time where it can feel like there is too much of this and that and those to just stay still and enjoy a big box of nothing? Big enough to hold everything that is most important. Ultimately, it is the solstice that is the reason for this whole season of holidays and holy days. So many festivals of light shining out in the dark times. The earliest Christians decided to celebrate the birth of Jesus, the light of the world, on December 25th. For that was the date of the solstice on their calendar at the time. Calendar since has moved around a number of times, though Christmas stayed on the 25th. Jews celebrate the story of Hanukkah, a miraculous light lasting longer than it had any reason to, in the winter month of Kislev. The Hindu celebration of Diwali is in the late fall. And the African-American holy days of Kwanzaa begin the day after Christmas and then end on New Year's Day. All are in the darkening days when we need more light and reminders that longer days are coming soon. I so love Rebecca Parker's Solstice poem, which I heard the first time 24 years ago on a Christmas and a solstice service. It evokes a still point where everything stops and the world grows quiet. And we all might become present to the moment when the earth turns back to the light. This is an acknowledgement, ancient and archetypal, of metaphor, mystery, and meaning. So in our time so filled to the brim, it carries with it the imperative to be present to the moments as they pass. To let our very presence simply be. My very favorite line of the poem evokes the stillness and the shift, the turning back to the light. For an instant, in the stillness, the chiming of celestial spheres will be heard as Earth hangs poised in the crystalline darkness and then gracefully tilts. For a moment in the stillness, Earth hangs poised and then tilts. It feels like I can breathe again at that moment. Present and alive. Perhaps even hearing the chiming of those celestial spheres. Except, of course, no actual tilting happens. As for celestial spheres chiming, perhaps there are scientific measurements that can record such sounds and even bring them into the range of human hearing. I hope so. I've heard recordings of the sounds of the universe. And of course, this is all metaphor and poetic license. And most of the time, I would fully encourage you to lean into the metaphor. Don't worry about the literal. Lean into the metaphor. And I do that all the time, except here, there is also a significance in what literally, physically happens, which is practically nothing. There is no tilting, because the earth is already and always tilted. At the moment of solstice, Earth simply continues on its orbit around the sun, holding the same angle it is already tilted at. That angle will eventually fully lean into the sun as that tilt goes around the sun. Here we are leaning away from the sun, northern hemisphere. Third grade teacher can't help herself. So leaning away, and we're going around the sun, and here's spring, and here's summer, and now we're leaning toward the sun. There's no tilt. It's always there. At the winter solstice in the northern hemisphere, that is the moment when the journey begins back toward the light. The world, a life, is kind of like that. It is simply a steady accumulation of moments, each of which is essentially nothing. Only together, sequentially, cumulatively, do they add up to something. This is part of the Dharma, the truth that can be experienced in Buddhist practice, present to each moment. This one, and this one, to each moment. As writer, teacher, and Buddhist practitioner Noel Oxenhandler writes, seeing things as equally present is to cease seeing things through the lens of their meaning and usefulness. And when we are able to do this, it makes room for the world around us to come forward with extraordinary vividness. Birds sing, the wall meets the floor, and even a mound of trash shimmers in the sunlight. Each moment is practically nothing. The moment of the solstice is something Earth passes through on its orbit. We can measure it and note it, though it has also passed in an instant. There is a kind of cumulative presence in each moment that is also somehow present. Now, 2 Sundays ago, when we celebrated Bodhi Day on December 8th, which marks the Buddha's Day of Enlightenment, it's another one of those moments that arise and pass in an instant. Yet on that day, when I was talking all about Buddhism and Buddhist meditation, I missed the opportunity to mention that the presence of the Friendship Sangha of the Heart, which meets every Monday evening in this very sanctuary. And somebody from the Sangha reminded me that this was so. So I mention it this day. We're talking about moments, being present to them. And so all are welcome to join the Friendship Sangha of the Heart and practice being present to each moment as it passes, as it arises and passes, and perhaps cumulatively and in community grow in presence and wisdom. And in these days of darkness that are just barely beginning to wane, as our hemisphere of the earth is beginning to lean back toward the sun, I offer you all the gift of nothing, or practically nothing. The respite of a still point whenever it arises. Find that moment and then carry on, but hold that moment. The respite of a still point wherever it arises, the space to be present the gift of simple presence, the present of presence. In doing so, we can create an opening for joy, which does not need to arrive with a fanfare, but it comes in a moment. In every joy could choose you. In fact, I think joy is out there trying to choose us all the time. But we resist. So joy will find it easier to slide in through the cracks and just sort of pop up and be there for a moment. And remember to also cherish and relish the dark, the moments of darkness that are emptier in some ways. The dark is something that we tend to fear. Except I love that Solstice song, I have loved the stars too fondly to be fearful of the night. It's not something to fear. The emptiness, the nothing, it can be such a gift and a grace. It can soothe our weary eyes so that we can see more clearly. So let the nothingness of each moment and the potential emptiness of the dark soothe you, carry you, and make you more open, perhaps, for the moments when joy sneaks in. And so, I give you now the gift, the present of presence. Amen. May it be so. Please join me in prayer. Holy beingness of many names and no name, presence of this present moment, Spirit of life which dwells within and among and beyond us this day and always. May we come alive again and again in each moment. May we feel the possibility in each and every moment we are alive. May we fear not the darkness at this time of year. May we rest in it. And may we rejoice as the light returns, the literal light, which will grow slightly longer and slightly longer each day until it stretches out before us into a lazy summer day. May we hold consciously, tenderly, those who are living through this season without homes, for whom the night may not be as restful and comforting, for it is cold and wet and dark. May we hold them with care and awareness and love. And may all those who are ill find healing. May those who are in despair find hope. And may those who are suffering conflict and war in too many places around the world, may we all know peace. Amen. And blessed be. Mic to get my mic. Ah, there we go. You know, it's something we haven't done before, and it's just a big surprise to everybody, so here we go. So we are going to reprise a line from the special music that the choir sang. But in order to do this, because it is the solstice, or we're right by the solstice, we are going to get up in a circle around the edges of the chairs in the sanctuary. Now, some of you have been forewarned, and so if you will just get up, and the choir will, in just a moment, the choir will sing us all into place, and then we'll be in a circle, like the circle of the orbit around the sun. So, choir will sing, and if we could get up into circle. If you'll remain standing in a circle.
Please join me in reading the words on the screen, or take it out of your memory if you're in the wrong direction. As we prepare to extinguish our chalice, we extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment, those we carry into our lives until we are together again.
All of you here in the sanctuary are invited after the service for coffee, tea, and bagels and conversation in our community room in Berg Hall. You can drop by the big round tables under the connecting center sign overhead and visit with friendly folk, ready to say hello and answer any questions that you might have if you're new among us. And I hope that those of you on Zoom can join in. We'll stick around in a breakout room, and we'll chat with you online. And it's just so delightful to see you all in this wide embrace of a circle. And you, our dear folk here, Pat and Gary, whose names came back into my head at the last moment, thank goodness, feel just embraced and circled by our love. I leave you with the words adapted from the Reverend Sarah Moores Campbell. We receive fragments of holiness, glimpses of eternity, brief moments of insight. Let us gather them up for the precious gifts that they are, and renewed by their grace, move boldly into the unknown. As the earth orbits the sun at great speed, and yet slowly by our reckoning, once more leaning into the light, more and more, may we see clearly, love boldly, and be joyful. Go forth in love, Go forth in peace. May it be so.